Now, I just finished watching Gundam Hathaway, The Sorcery of Nymph Circe, and honestly, I really liked the movie. It was really, really good. Like, the wait time when it first came out till now, like the first movie, I think it was worth the wait. I really, really enjoyed the movie. I honestly didn't think I was going to enjoy it because it's been so long, and I was kind of like, oh, I'm going to forget everything, and when I watch it, it's gonna be kind of boring, and I kind of know it's gonna be predictable. It's gonna be like the novel and all that stuff, but definitely took me by surprise. And I watched it like earlier this morning because it was the only, well, not the only time, but I kind of like want to start my day, with Gundam. So why not, right? But starting the movie, it was just, yeah, like honestly, I was really excited to watch it. It's been a while since I've been excited for a movie, so this was really, really great. Now, before we get started though, there are gonna be a lot of spoilers, so if that's something you don't want to see, you can click away now, and you can wait till you actually watch the movie yourself, or you can keep watching if you're too lazy to watch it. So that's what I'm here for. Now, it starts off giving us a little what's it called, I guess, in terms of a recap. That's what it is. Recap for the first movie. So because it's been about since 2000, like what, 19 or something like that. Like it's been a while. Like, I mean, let me check it out. I mean, I could be totally wrong, like when the movie came out for Gundam Hathaway, but it was quite some time. Like, I think the movie came out, let's see who I'm looking here, 2021. So 2021. So right now it's like what, 2026. So it's been like fucking 5 years since the movie came out. And I know I've made a few videos on an update that they've been really working hard, and honestly, it really does show. So, like some animes and some like directors, they're like, oh, it's gonna take a while, just bear with us. You can tell they put so much effort into this movie. Like, everything was amazing about it. Like the animation, the art style, you can tell they put so much work into this. And it's not like some like lazy shit like fucking Mappa does with like Jujutsu Kaisen, and like where like the animation is just so cheesy, and well, not cheesy, sorry, let me rephrase that, not cheesy, but it's just bad, like in the art styles, like half drawn, like they really took the time and made everything perfect. Like, it literally felt like I was in the cockpit half the time. Now, I'm sure they were promoting like their VR thing they did, but it did feel like I was in the movie. I felt like I was Hathaway sometimes, and the way they did the sound effects from the lines to the perspective of these characters, it did feel like I was actually there. And that's what made this movie amazing. That was a huge, huge plus. And the story was really nice. Like, it was good. Like, I felt like it was a pretty good pace of explaining, like, and going through each character, like, with Hathaway, Gigi, as well as Kenneth as well. A little bit of Kenneth, not as much as Kenneth, but more like Gigi. I feel like this movie was meant for Gigi more. It felt like it was more like focusing on her and like her past. Because we know Hathaway's past. He's the son of Bright Noah. It makes kind of perfect sense. Now, I think a lot of people had the question, right? So we know this takes place in the Char's counterattack universe, not the Byaka's children, which is technically supposed to be based off that. But they fit the Char's counterattack very, very well in the movie. Now, overall, like, again, like, I guess I can start off like just a little bit based of like kind of what's happening right here. So the story is basically it's about Hathaway, wanting to follow into Char's footsteps. Overall, so I'm going to try to use like political terms, because I will say one thing, it is pretty much a pretty political movie. I hate using the word that I try to connect with politics and anime. I'll go a little simplistic about it, some of the things, but yes, it basically is a political movie. It is. Overall, there are some fight scenes, obviously. Now, in the political aspect, basically the movie, it's about Hathaway trying to destroy the government. It's trying to take out the Earth Federation. So the Earth Federation is doing similar to what Char was doing, but instead of throwing a giant comet, they're just fucking, so I'll use simpler terms. They're using like their version of ICE, trying to deport people to space, basically. And the ones who don't actually live in the Earth, they just take them to space. And so that's the whole point. So Hathaway doesn't like that, obviously. In the movie, the whole time, he's basically trying to plot to destroy the Earth Federation, without throwing a comment overall. So it shows a lot about the adults and government, and because at the end of the day, you have to understand that Hathaway is just a child still, but it has to be this ideal for Mafty, so like the Antifa, pretty much kind of thing. And he has to play this role as Mafty. And you have to remember he is a child, so he has feelings, he has emotions. He's having this crazy emotions about Gigi. And now this is when it kind of ties into Char's counterattack, and he's having haunted and PTSD memories of Inshar's counterattack when he goes out in the RZ, goes out, tries to save Quest, but then Chan, accidentally kills her, and then he shoots Chan, which I will get to in a little bit because that's actually very, very important to you find out later, like what his core value, why does he actually really want to do this, right? So overall, in the first part of the movie, it's Hathaway, struggling. He's not taking his meds. There's a girl named Kalia, I believe it's her name is, the ball chick. So she's kind of like a love interest in the movie. So she's pretty important. She's I think the ride or die chick pretty much in the movie, and she's trying to care for him. But Hathaway is like so like into this Mafty ideal role. He has to keep going. He has his goal. He's like she's basically saying, "Hey, you need to stop this." Like it's just not gonna it's not, she basically is losing hope about this whole thing. She doesn't think it's gonna work, and she can't handle it anymore. So long story short, she ends up leaving, but Hathaway tries to find her. And again, it's like Hathaway's going through these emotions and going through this, I guess you can say like puberty in a way. Like he's going through like all this stuff. He's a new type too, so he's also kind of like fucked in the head as well. And so he's like thinking about her, then he thinks about his struggles, and then he struggles about Kigi. It's all these things, right? And then it goes into Gigi's story, kind of like what her perspective was going through. Like she's hanging out with fucking Kenneth in the Earth Federation the entire time. She gets like her own house or her own like apartment, whatever you want to call it. She's like bored out of her mind, so she distracts herself by doing just decorating the house, doing things like what women do a lot, just decorating, making the place look nice, taking baths, like that's pretty much what you see, that whole thing what she's doing. But then you find about her past of like she basically was a caretaker for this guy named, I think his name was Count. I actually don't even know what his name was. It was like this old guy basically who needed like a caretaker kind of to take care of him, but you can tell he was kind of like perverted a lot of times with her, but he needed her to kind of feel comfort because of again, overall, like with all the stress that he was going through with the analytics and all that stuff, and like basically if they didn't see him work, they're basically were gonna kill him, I think, something like that. So he needed some comfort, and she was kind of like that, that person there. So maybe that's why she was so rich, she had all the money from him. So it was kind of like she's kind of like that comfort kind of person. You would think she would be more than kind of like a more of a like a status role, but she was there overall. I think she was kind of like more like just a comforter, but she was with that old guy. So it shows that you see him kind of like touching her all weird, and yeah, she kind of had a weird past too overall, which is kind of nice to see. But she's also, again, she's a new type as well. So my theory is that in every movie after, it seemed like it was after Char's counterattack and after Unicorn, it slowly stepped away of talking about new types, and they started using fortune telling. And like even the narrative movie, they don't really say the word new type. They'll just say like, oh well, they say you go somewhere after you die, and the word kind of fades away. So in the movie, Gigi is like they say good luck charm. There's the fortune teller. She kind of knows what's gonna happen, but we know she's a new type overall. She can kind of know where Hathaway is. So after, and then during the middle part is basically where like Hathaway starts to he starts to have this, I won't say like sympathy, or I guess maybe sympathy is the right word. Like basically he starts to struggle in terms of like what he's doing is right, and then he starts to have sympathy towards his enemies. And again, they talk about like his allies that get killed. It's really sad throughout and again, it's a lot of talking. So like if you're looking for something with a ton of action, the action literally starts in like the end right now. If you watch Gundam is actually majority of talking, surprisingly enough. It's a lot about the political side of things, really. So again, I don't like to use that word, but it kind of is, like I said. So a lot of talking. You have to really, really pay attention to it. And again, yeah, knowing Char's counterattack, if you have a base background of Gundam, I think it's very, very helpful for this movie. Do you need to know Gundam? Yeah, I think you kind of need to know something, right? I know IGN was kind of like saying like, oh, well, you gotta do your homework. Well, it's not, again, like, I get what he means by that, but I wouldn't call it homework, right? You should already know what you're getting yourself into if you're watching Gundam. It's like in any kind of movie, right? It's like if you're watching Toy Story 5, you can't go in there and be like, oh, well, you need to do your homework and watch 1 through 4, right? It's like, I can see why people can get offended by that, but I think overall, yeah, you kind of need to know what Gundam is, but you going into the movie theater watching Gundam, you should know what you're getting yourself into. I think that's just kind of how it is. So, anyways, knowing Char's counterattack is very helpful, but again, knowing who Amuro is, Amuro actually shows up a good amount of times in the movie, and Mace Flower is another one. She was the flight attendant from the first movie. She actually showed up, and it was actually a really funny scene of her. I won't spoil that because it's actually kind of funny. But yeah, no, Amuro shows up, Quest shows up a few times, and you don't know if Hathaway's talking to her, like if he's going crazy, or she's actually there as a new type ghost. We don't know. Now, there was a perfect scene. Now, this is what I'm going to get to. This is basically the core and how it connects to Char's counterattack. So, he sees a naked chick, right, and he fucking freaks the fuck out. He's like, oh my god. Now, you think it's Gigi because, you think he's haunting her, but it's actually Chan. So, Chan is the core guilt that Hathaway is going through right now. So if you remember in Char's counterattack, Hathaway basically kills Chan because he's so upset that Chan shot the missile at Quest, and he's having this guilt overall. Like the guilt is kind of like there with Chan, and he wants to turn himself in. He's taking all that guilt and turning himself into a villain rather than be like, okay, well, maybe I can just stop what I'm doing, right? But he's doing this because he wants to feel happy and not feel guilty about what he's doing. So Amuro tries to convince him, say, hey, you need to stop doing what you're doing. You don't have to take this on your own. Quest does the same, but he's like, nope, I'm taking it all in. So you find out basically the core is, Chan is the one that's, basically keeping him kind of like, ah, man, like, I have to do this because I killed Chan kind of thing. So it's kind of cool how they tied into that. And I thought Chan was kind of a throwaway character. I didn't think they were actually going to mention her, but she seems like it's going to be a big part for the part 3. I think she will be a huge part for part 3 for sure. But he's still talking to Quest and stuff like that. I don't know how that's going to work out, but in the end of the movie, basically Gigi's with the Federation. She knew Hathaway was going to be there, but then she was like, hey, why don't I use myself as a hostage? So you get, but obviously she just wanted to be with him because Gigi is basically obsessed with Hathaway too, and I think with her life and stuff. And it's kind of cool Gigi's character. It's like she comes off very mysterious, but she acts very innocent, but she actually knows what she's doing. So when she acts like she doesn't know anything, she knows everything because she's a new type, so she knows all that stuff. And then, so in the end of the movie, me and my cousin were watching. We were just waiting for him to go, waiting for the Guns N' Roses song to pop up. And obviously, it was a very predictable part. It happened when Gigi kissed Hathaway in the end, because Hathaway, she was like, oh my god, I finally get to see you. And it goes, do 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 do. So then, it's like, and I was like, oh shoot, Thor 4 is back, I guess. I guess Thor was actually a good movie. So anyway, that was a throwaway joke. I thought it was kind of stupid. But anyways, so in the end of the movie, it literally ends the scene reuniting with Hathaway. Gigi and Hathaway, you reunite in the, and the fighting scene was fucking great, by the way. Sorry, I totally forgot about that. The fight scene, I was so into the other side, I totally forgot about the fight scene. So yeah, when the core happened, Hathaway basically fought this, I think it was called the Atlas, something like that. I forgot what it was called, but basically it was the bootleg training version of the new Gundam, and that's when he has like PTSD over the new Gundam, and that's when Amuro and shit like that kind of talks. He's battling Amuro in the suit, but gets destroyed pretty quickly because it's fucking Hathaway, right? So the fight scene was good. It was a really good fight scene. Animation, top notch. I loved everything about it. It was fucking awesome overall. So anyways, back to the ending scene. So that's pretty much how it ends. Really cool nod. So if you want to stay for the post-credit scenes, there is a post-credit scenes. Basically, if you don't want to know about that, you can leave as well, but I'm sure you're here long enough, so I might as well just tell you. So in the end, Kenneth finds out Gigi has been taken by Hathaway, so he's like, oh shit, well, now it's gonna, it's gonna be real now. And then the second thing is that later on, the She Gundam, when it got when it got hit in the face, it started to kind of dissolve and the pieces are falling off, and then it shows the legit Gundam mouth. So because in the movie they were saying oh, this is a fake Gundam, it's not real. it's a real Gundam because it has the fucking mouth thing. So I thought it was kind of cool. So I guess in the next movie they're gonna have that. I mean, if I look at the She Gundam, like the original, right? Let me see if like what the She Gundam actually looks like from the old one. I'm sure it's the same how it looks, but let's see. Let's see some of the designs, right? Okay, so yeah, there you go. So, yeah, it has the nice little nod to it, right? So let me pull that up for everyone to see. So let me show you guys. So yeah, the She Gundam basically nods to what it's actually supposed to look like. As you can see, it has the Gundam face thing from based on this. So I thought it was a cool little nod to it. I think that was really cool. But we all knew that, you know, coming into the movie, I guess if you read the novel, I guess that's the original design. But I thought it was cool overall. And they're playing the Guns N' Roses song, the and then. So overall, I thought it was a fantastic movie. I give like a solid. I give it a solid 9, to be honest. I really enjoyed the movie. I really liked it, and I think it was definitely worth the wait if you are a Gundam fan and you were waiting this long for a Hathaway movie. But the problem is now it's gonna make you want more. It makes you want more to have another third movie, which they're gonna make a third movie, but it's gonna take probably another 5 years, probably, just because I've noticed the amount of the style of the art and the animation and all the studying they have to do for the countries. Yeah, it's gonna take like another 5 years for sure, but the quality you're getting is good. It's gonna get good. Oh, by the way, Bright Noah is also in the movie too. I'm sure you guys figured that out. There are spoilers for that. So, but yeah, Bright's in the movie too, and he says something that is very it's really sad, but if you read the novel, you kind of know where I'm getting at. But basically, Bright says, "This is my final mission before I retire." Huh. I wonder what his final mission's gonna be right now. If you read the novel, Hathaway does die in the end. He gets executed by a call that Bright Noah says, because he doesn't know who's he killing. He just says, "Oh, hey, we need your approval to kill Mafti," and then Bright's like, "Okay," but he never knows that it's his son. Just insane. So I don't know how they're going to do in part 3. It sounds like they're changing a few things for the most part. I don't want Hathaway to die, but he might, most likely, in the third movie. So anyways, that's my thoughts on the movie. Let me know what you think about it if you watched it already, but I really enjoyed the movie. I really liked it a lot. Like, the Hathaway movie was good. I really liked it. I watch it again, you know, I really would. But yeah, anyways, let me know in the comments and what you think about it. But yeah, that's my review on that one. Peace.